Welcome, Patriots, to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and tonight we got bombshells dropping from every single direction. And what makes us different here is we don't just talk at you, we talk with you. Your comments, your reactions, your insights in that live chat fuels this show. We're going to be reading your super chats and rebel rants throughout tonight's broadcast, featuring them right on screen for the world to see. Millions of people will see it. So fire them off right now before we even dive into these explosive stories. And we need your help spreading the truth. I know I say this every single day, but it is an effective strategy, and only you can help us succeed. So text the stream to your friends. Bypass big text algorithms. And for our ex-viewers, repost the show to your followers. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Did something happen? Technical difficulties. Where was I? Yes, we're streaming live on YouTube, Rumble, and X simultaneously, reaching millions of truth seekers globally. So make sure you're following us on all platforms because they're trying to silence us everywhere. Now, let me take you back to July 24th, 1974, exactly 51 years ago today. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously in United States v. Nixon that executive privilege couldn't shield criminal evidence. Nixon had to turn over the tapes. 8 days later, he resigned. So why does it matter? Because today we're watching another presidency's secrets explode into public view, except this, it is Obama's CIA conspiracy being exposed by 20 federal whistleblowers. History doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme. Speaking of Obama, tonight we've got confirmation from CIA and FBI agents that Barack and Brennan orchestrated the Russia hoax from day one. We'll show you who is lawyered up, who's getting subpoenaed, and why Ghislaine Maxwell suddenly wants to talk. The Epstein client list, the Clintons, yeah, it's all connected. And August 11th is D-Day. We're going to take you inside the Federal Reserve also, where Donald Trump just personally confronted Jerome Powell. It was a moment for the history books about blowing $3.1 billion on renovations. When Trump walked onto a construction site, heads roll, and Powell's might be next. Plus, Trump's urban cleanup executive order is triggering mass deportations. 7,000 illegals per day is the target. Sanctuaries are in full meltdown, and we're going to pay tribute to Hulk Hogan, who left us at the young age of 71. But here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. The Hulkster found Jesus 18 months ago and died at peace. From the wrestling ring to the MAGA stage, Hogan was America personified. Now, you want to support this private broadcast privately? Hit those donation links in the description below. We can't do this without you. And if you're looking to show off your favorite news, check out our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. We've got Alligator Alcatraz, President Otto Penn, in our American Badass series that lets everybody know where you stand. You can also become a YouTube channel member. Each tier unlocks perks. You'll get acknowledged in the chat, exclusive access to the Next News team, behind-the-scenes uploads, and entry to our members-only 24/7 Discord where the conversation never stops. Different levels, different benefits. You can join the resistance at whatever level works for you. Now, tonight's show is massive. Obama's treasonous conspiracy exposed by federal agents. The Epstein files about to blow wide open with Clinton subpoenas. Trump's showdown at the Fed over billions in waste, his executive order launching urban warfare against illegal immigration, and our farewell to wrestling legend Hulk Hogan, who found salvation before his final bell. Now, this is not the news. This is the news they don't want you to see. The connections they pray you won't make, and the truth that is the establishment. We're not just reporting news, we are making history together. Every stream, every comment, every share is a blow against their narrative control. So buckle up, Patriots, share the stream, drop the supers and those Rumble rants, and let's expose what they have hidden for too long. The revolution is not coming. It's here. It's now. And you are a part of it. Now let's get after it. And welcome. Pardon me. We need to do a quick reset, so stand by. And we'll be right back. All right, we are back after that quick. We've been having some technical issues over here. We've been reading your comments. Yes, we're working on some of those issues, trying to resolve them. Don't worry, folks. Everything will work out just fine because Brian, the man behind the curtain, is on the case. So let's welcome you to the show. Who's here? We got Calvary, William, Marjorie, Karen, Sabrina, Sheryu, Todd, Patricia, Jesse, Karen Myron is here. Who else is in the house? Scontek, Overeducated, Sweet Jenna Rainbows, derp. We've got Amazing Trace, Broken Prophet, Barry Fanning, Lisa, Carrie Nauf, Blitz Ruiz, Bills Ruiz, Biltz, KB8WMS is here. Tyson Curie, Dale Val, Inhuman Condition, End the Madness. Who else? Pothead Kenny, what's up? We got Susan as well. Tyson Curie. Chino Jr. is in the house. Dion and Karen and everybody. Gen X. Manus Megster is here. Lampwick. R. Boyd, what's up? We got Neon Tetra on Rumble. What's up? Good to see Rumble here in the house, even though no one ever watches this on Rumble. Ever. Not sure why we even post it here, but we do post it here for you, Neon. That's why. You are the one we care about because you're actually watching. All right, who else is here? We got Patriots for Truth, King Boom, Bathrink. We've got Heidi G, Irony Rose, Sarcastic Storage Stacker, Kentucky in the house. Karen Terry in the house. We got Long Island Thomas, Rick Price, Patriots for Truth. Sure you is here, just not talking. He's lurking tonight, so be careful, guys. When Sure you is lurking, you never know what'll happen next. We got Grayly Art, Overeducated. All right. Let's go. Let's get to our stories, and first we're gonna do our trivia. Which famous spy novelist predicted a deep state coup in his 2013 thriller? Was it A, Tom Clancy, B, Jean Le Carré, Brad Thor, or Vince Finn? I'm going to say Tom Clancy. That's where I'm going to go. Yeah, these trivia questions suck. Okay. Come on, Todd. You had one job. All right, man, don't worry. Talk about it later. Okay, let's get this show on the road. They said it was a conspiracy theory. They called us crazy. They banned us from social media for even suggesting it. But tonight, the conspiracy has become confession. 20 federal agents just broke their silence about the biggest political crime in American history. Now, these aren't anonymous sources or leaked memos. These are FBI and CIA personnel putting their careers and lives on the line to expose what Barack Obama and John Brennan really did. The Russia hoax wasn't just fake news. It was a deliberate intelligence operation to overthrow a sitting president. Now the rats are jumping ship. Lawyers are being hired and indictments are being prepared. You're about to see will change everything, so stay right there. Now, you probably think your 401k is safe, but it wasn't designed to make you wealthy. It was built to shift retirement costs and risk onto you, leaving your savings exposed to crashes, inflation, and chaos. But Americans are waking up and taking control of real assets like gold. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands secure their future by converting part of their 401k into a tax-advantaged gold IRA without penalties or headaches. It's safe, it's simple, and it's smart. Visit nextnewsgold.com to get your free protection kit and discover how to safeguard your savings. Open a qualified account today and receive 2 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful coins free. That's nextnewsgold.com, your exit from the danger zone. You can call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. And when you talk to Colin, tell him that Gary said hi, would you please? All right. So we do have some breaking video that just came in. This is the former president.
The SUV, the first
former president getting arrested.
And now we see the SUVs here pulling up Anderson. And they are pulling up here now to the door.
Can you guys stand back?
And we see several of the SUVs, Anderson, pulling up to the corner. And the former president, Donald Trump, is about to step out of this SUV and enter the Manhattan DA's office, where he will be placed under arrest. And here.
Okay, so why do I show this video? Why do I show this video? We all remember it all too well. Because when you mess with the bull, you get the frickin' horns. You see what this video represents precedent. Precedent. Okay? When the left decided to attack Donald Trump, to arrest him multiple times on fake charges, oh, this is what we got. But guess what? They have now laid the tracks, and the Trump train is going to drive right through Obama's mansion. And they're going to pull him out, and they're going to make him do a frickin' perp walk, and we're going to get mug shots of Obama, Brennan, Comey, Clapper, and the whole for treason. That's what's on the line here. So when someone says, well, they've never arrested a former president before, well, guess what? We have two instances right here on screen. They arrested Donald J. Trump, New York and in Georgia. Remember? You'll never forget it. So the precedent has been set. And now people are talking. I also have some good news. The View is taking a break.
The monster. And before we go on hiatus, we only have one more show after this. I'm allowed to say that, right?
Too late now.
So it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Before we go, I wanted to tell people that the tide is turning and things are changing. I mean, the ultimate irony would be that Rupert Murdoch will take him down.
Yeah.
Fox News, who created the monster, will take him down.
Looks like The View is taking a little break. Let's just hope it's a permanent break. First Stephen Colbert, and now The View. And we have to congratulate our Employee of the Month, Tulsi Gabbard. Yes, definitely the July 2025 administration Employee of the Month. Okay, so we got this just 7 hours ago. 20 CIA and FBI agents have blown the whistle, confirming that Barack Obama and his chief of staff, CIA Director John Brennan, created the false Russia hoax, doctored intelligence to overthrow a duly elected president of the United States in 2016. Let's see what Devin Nunes is saying here.
Good morning, or good afternoon, everyone. I recently confirmed that on numerous occasions, the intelligence community incidentally collected information about U.S. citizens involved in the Trump transition. Details about U.S. persons associated with the incoming administration, details with little or no apparent foreign intelligence value, were widely.
Okay, so what I think we're seeing here, this is the original, this is the first Trump administration, Devin Nunes making the announcement when he was a member of Congress. He works for President Trump in a private capacity now on his Truth Social campaign, Truth Social site. But this is the moment he's announcing.
Widely disseminated in intelligence community reporting. Third, I have confirmed that additional names of Trump transition team members were unmasked. And fourth and finally, I want to be clear, none of this surveillance was related to Russia or the investigation of Russian activities or of the Trump team.
So that was during the initial announcements that we all heard that they're spying on his campaign, Devin Nunes confirming it. Here we have now Tulsi Gabbard doubling down on exposing Hillary Clinton on Charlie Kirk's show.
One of the most significant pieces of evidence that was revealed in that report we released yesterday is the fact that Russia claimed to have very, very damaging information, high-level DNC emails relating specifically to Hillary Clinton's physical and mental health, and DNC leaders questioning whether or not, if elected, she would even be capable of carrying out the duties of the presidency. Russia had this. If they wanted to swing the election for Donald Trump, they would have released it in September, October of 2016 at a pivotal time to swing momentum into Donald Trump's direction and damage Hillary Clinton's campaign. They did not do that deliberately. They understood that Hillary Clinton would likely be the inevitable president of the United States. They didn't think Trump could win, like a lot of other people. And so they were withholding this information about Hillary Clinton and planning to release it in the days or weeks leading up to to her expected inauguration in order to once again sow chaos within the United States, to, draw one of the most significant.
So if the Russians had information during the election, they could have done it, but they didn't. Now, if you hadn't heard about this, Judge Jeanine Pirro has been appointed to the D.C. Attorney General's role. Listen to this.
Well, here's an interesting little twist that I bet no one is thinking about regarding the new criminal referrals that just came across DOJ regarding the Obama era official. Obama, Clapper, Brennan, Susan Rice, etc. 2 months ago, President Donald Trump appointed Judge Jeanine Pirro as U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. Now, Judge Jeanine has an impeccable record in New York State, not only as a prosecutor, but as a judge. And she and Donald Trump go way back. They're friends, and he trusts her. Now, the U.S. Attorney General in Washington, D.C. is a very powerful position. It has a dual role. So not only does it oversee local crimes in Washington, D.C., but it also oversees federal crimes that might have happened in Washington, D.C., i.e. politicians, intelligence officials, etc. So this puts Judge Jeanine Pirro in the direct line of indictments should they come down. I find that extremely interesting.
I'll take that for sure. Judge Jeanine Pirro. That's why they're trying to get her out. Here is Donald Trump Jr. just about 24 hours ago. So great to see DNI Gabbard taking it to the entire deep state like this. We all know the Russia hoax was nothing more than a deep state conspiracy against my father, and Obama knew it all along. Let's hear what she's saying to Laura Trump.
He's saying that none of this makes any sense, that this is a distraction. What do you say to that?
It's the art of deflection coming from former President Obama, as well as his friends who are still in Congress today, and Senator Warner and Congressman Jim Himes, really all basically saying that exact same statement, which doesn't actually address the issue that was revealed in great detail in the over 100 documents that we last week, and the documents that we will be releasing later this week, that point to the undeniable fact that you laid out in your introduction to this segment, is that the intelligence community had one assessment that Russia did not have the intent or capability to try to impact the outcome of the U.S. election leading up to Election Day. The same assessment was made after Donald Trump was elected by the American people as president in 2016, defeating Hillary Clinton. And it wasn't until after that pulled President's Daily Brief document that you referenced that the Principals Committee was called in the National Security Council. And President Obama then directed Obama's DNI James Clapper to lead the effort to create this new intelligence community assessment that detailed not if, but how Moscow attempted to influence the outcome of the U.S. election. So the thing that I think people should pay attention to is neither the message from President Obama's office, neither the statements coming from Democrats in Congress today and their friends in the propaganda media. None of them are addressing this fact that there was a shift, a 180-degree shift from the intelligence community's assessment leading up to the election to the one that President Obama directed be produced after Donald Trump won the election. That
Yes, Barack Obama at the center of it all. And now we're learning that James Clapper just lawyered up. They write that if James Clapper, who just lawyered up, says he's worried he'll face prosecution, you can bet your leftover meatloaf sandwich that Obama, Yates, Brennan, Page, Strzok, Comey, Hillary, and the solid gold fake dossier dancers are freaking TF out too. The walls are closing in. Here's more from Tulsi with Charlie Kirk.
When we look at our democratic republic, Charlie, our system is built on the foundation of the American people our votes for who they want to be in office, to be our president and commander in chief. In this system, there is to be a peaceful transition of power. What we saw play out here was President Trump was elected by the American people in 2016, shocked most people in the United States, and apparently even Russia and Putin didn't think that he would win. Instead of accepting that this is the will of the people, what we saw is President Obama convening his national security team and concocting this contrived false narrative through the production of this intelligence community assessment in January 2017 with the specific intent of subverting the will of the American people and trying to delegitimize President election, and therefore everything that he had been charged to do by the American people over the next 4 years. So, yes, this is a treasonous conspiracy that subverts the American people, because you look at the action. They manufactured a hoax. They manufactured these lies, published it as though it were true, propagated this through the media to the American people. And then what happened next? The Mueller investigation, years-long Mueller investigation launched. You had 2 impeachments coming from Congress. You had a raid on President Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago by the FBI. You had smears and attacks and investigations not only against President Trump, but against his family, his senior officials within his administration.
You know what I'd like to see next? I want to see, maybe this is part of the reason Obama's started this whole thing. Maybe he knew. Maybe it was, the whole birth certificate thing, that perhaps Donald Trump would find out he wasn't actually an American citizen. Let's unseal Barack Obama's record next. Can we do that? Here's Senator John Cornyn. Lindsey Graham and I are urging AG Pam Bondi to appoint a special counsel to investigate the extent of which former President Obama, his staff, and administration officials manipulated the U.S. national security apparatus during Russiagate. Now, people are critical. Hans Mankel says every single special counsel has served only one purpose, which is to stymie real investigations and run out the clock. The fact that Lindsey Graham and John Cornyn are now calling for one only drives that point home. Unless it's Ed Martin, better not have one at all. Here is the moment that Lindsey Graham posted on X. For the good of the country, Senator John Cornyn and I urge Attorney General Bondi to appoint a special counsel to investigate Obama. Lindsey Graham, flashback. Lindsey Graham told John McCain to take the dossier to the FBI. Lindsey Graham played a role in Obama and Hillary's scheme. Of course, he's calling for a special counsel to investigate now, which would be used to cover up and stop the release of damaging documents. They're calling him a traitor. We're going to need a bigger hoax. Yes, we will. The deep state is panicking, now attempting to undermine the Obamagate story with more unverified and anonymously sourced hit pieces from the Wall Street Journal against Trump. That means we're over the target. Out.
White House that we do have some new reporting into CNN, and this is it's a story from the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that in May, Attorney General Pam Bondi and her deputy informed the president at a meeting in the White House that his name was in the Epstein files. This is reporting now in the Wall Street Journal. We should note that CNN has not independently confirmed that information.
Yes, very important. And in which context, right? That's really the question.
Exactly. In what context did his name come up in those files?
That's right. They were friends and friends for years. The president obviously has a timeline about when he stopped associating with Epstein. But this is obviously a big story from the Wall Street Journal that they are reporting that Trump was told his name was in the Epstein files. But let's just go through quick, because this is a deluge of information right now about what is happening regarding the Epstein files. A judge has declined to release grand jury documents from the criminal probe into Epstein. You have the House Oversight Committee subpoenaing Ghislaine Maxwell for a deposition. And you also have a House Oversight Subcommittee, Democrats on that committee, very possibly close to succeeding in forcing a subpoena on the Epstein files. Right. And
It's Republican votes. I mean,
That's
they're
right.
making a
That's how
bet
they
that
would
will
do.
get Republican
That's
votes
the
to
only
do
way
so.
they could do
So,
it.
as you know, the Wall Street Journal now being sued by President Trump, but they are not stopping in their efforts to undermine the American people. Let's continue. We have this now. Wall Street Apes writing, Barack Obama is so effed. 20 CIA and FBI agents have now confirmed Barack Obama worked with our old CIA director to create the fake Russia hoax and then locked it away in a CIA vault for almost a decade. Again, 20 CIA and FBI agents now confirm this. Listen.
Irrefutable evidence.
Fox News alert, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, releasing a bombshell report today that shows a conspiracy by a sitting president, Barack Obama, and his intel agencies to sabotage the president-elect, Donald Trump, brainwash the electorate, and undermine the legitimacy of an election.
There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team direct creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't.
Gabbard got her hands on a House Intel report that's been locked away in a CIA vault for almost a decade. Investigators spent over 2,000 hours looking into how the Russia hoax was born, interviewing 20 CIA and FBI officials. And it turns out that the Obama administration doctored the intelligence to make it look like Putin and Trump stole the election. A month after Trump beat Hillary, Barack Obama wasn't satisfied with his intelligence reporting and ordered his CIA director to create a new assessment of how Russia interfered with the election. This was a highly unusual move. John handpicked 5 CIA analysts to write the assessment, and they were siloed. None of them knew what the other was doing. And only one analyst was in charge of drafting this report. There was nothing routine about this, and it was a rush job to publish before Trump was sworn in. Nothing was coordinated with the other intelligence agencies either. Basically, this was home cooking for Barack Obama. There were 4 key elements from the assessment that were repeated over and over again and formed the basis of the Russia hoax and the Robert Mueller witch hunt. 1, that Vladimir Putin wanted Donald Trump to win. 2, Putin took action to help Trump win. 3, the Russians had blackmail on Trump. That was the Steele dossier. And 4, that the Russians tried colluding with the Trump campaign. None of any of this was ever true. There was no reliable intelligence to support any of these allegations. Senior CIA officials repeatedly refused to traffic in these allegations, but they were repeatedly overruled by CIA Director Brennan and FBI Director Comey, who insisted that they be pushed, even without verifiable evidence. The Obama administration cherry-picked the intelligence, lied about their sources, misquoted sources, didn't corroborate their claims, suppressed intelligence that ran counter to their narratives, and used anonymous internet postings.
Oh, anonymous posting. Love it. Yeah, use that as your source. Real credible. But now we're learning this. Here's from General Mike Flynn. Dear Jim, the intelligence report that you refer to was scrutinized after it was used to undermine a duly elected president. Gosh dang it, my old friend, don't play the dummy anymore. You knew the intel report was fabricated, a fabricated POS from the start, yet you allowed Barack Obama and Brennan and Coney to convince you to go along with it. I'm sorry that you need to lawyer up. My strongest recommendation is to come clean and tell the truth. And what happened here? Did we lose? That's weird. Okay, just edited in with Mike Flynn. And now we have this from General Mike Flynn. Dear Jen, the intelligence report that you referred to was scrutinized after it was used to undermine a duly elected president. Gosh dang it, my old friend, don't play the dummy anymore. You knew the intel report was a fabricated POS from the start, yet you allowed Barack Obama and John Brennan and Comey to convince you to go along with it. I'm sorry you need to lawyer up. My strongest recommendation is to come clean, cut a deal, and tell the truth. Otherwise, you're in some very legal hot water. Here he is, former Director of National Intelligence. That's, of course, the role that Tulsi Gabbard holds now. James Clapper says he's afraid that he'll be arrested for his role in the Russia Collusion Hoax. He's on CNN, of course, a safe space for people like him, talking with Caitlin Collins. Watch.
Accuses me.
When the director says that she's referred these filings to the Justice Department for a criminal investigation, tonight we're told they formed what is called a strike force. Do you have concerns that they will attempt to prosecute you?
Well, certainly I do. After 8.5 years of this, and I don't know of an intelligence that was more scrutinized, more investigated than that product was by numerous people. It's very disconcerting. It really is. And I take seriously when the President of the United States accuses me of being a participant in a treasonous conspiracy, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, what's your reaction to that?
It's ridiculous. It is untrue.
So what will you do if they cut you? What is your plan?
Well, I'll lawyer up, I suppose. Already have.
You've already hired attorneys in anticipation that this Trump Justice Department could try to prosecute you.
We've had sort of perpetual attorneys since I left the government in 2017.
Yeah, because of course you would, because you're a freaking criminal. But now it's all becoming very, very clear. Here is John Brennan. Now says Tulsi Gabbard is intentionally lying when she exposed him for publishing 3 fraudulent intelligence reports. Nothing like a liar calling someone else a liar. Tulsi Gabbard, listen to this.
Front, certainly. But Tulsi Gabbard, she may be impaired on the ethics front, certainly, but she's not impaired on the intellect front. And so I can only presume that she is doing this intentionally mischaracterizing, misrepresenting, and lying about what she has found. Tulsi Gabbard,
lying about what she's found. Let's check in with Bill O'Reilly, predicting Obama's ex-CIA director John Brennan will be indicted for publishing fraudulent intelligence report. Things just got real. Listen to this, talking with Fredo Cuomo.
Biased. So the Tulsi Gabbard drop of classified information that's now declassified. The headline in there is that John Brennan, former director of the CIA, is in trouble. And I believe he will be in. And the telling part of this is that, and this is, I'm quoting from the report from the Select Committee on Intelligence, House Select Committee, is that Brennan knowingly, published 3 reports containing information that was, quote, unclear, of uncertain origin, potentially biased or implausible. If that's true, and we need to give Brennan due process, he's going to be charged.
Well, you also need to prove
So they'll present that evidence in front. They'll present the evidence in front of a grand jury. Now the others, Comey and it's not quite as clear. Mm-hmm. So Brennan has the big exposure here. So the Tulsi.
No spin there. Here's President Trump.
Even a little question out. With certainty, I think we knew it before, in all fairness, Tulsi. You have certainty. She has all the documents. She has everything that you need. And she found out that Barack Hussein Obama led a group of people and they cheated in the elections, and they cheated without question. It's not even a quote. Would you say there's even a little question there, Tulsi? She says no. And you found things that nobody thought we'd ever find. And very happy and very honored to have you with us. She's right now, by far, Speaker, she's hotter than you right now, Speaker. Hottest person in the room right now, Speaker. So, Tulsi, great job. And I know you have a lot more coming. She told me you've seen nothing yet. So I heard those rumors about you, but now I know they're true. So we're very proud of you, Tulsi. They cheated so badly, and ultimately it led to loss in 2020. and it shouldn't have been a loss. It was a big victory. We won by a lot. We had to do it again. But if I thought we lost, I would never have run again. And this is a far more consequential election than it would have been if we did. That's the only thing I can say in favor of it. But we can't ever let that happen to our country. Look at what happened in terms of inflation, in terms of so many things, but most importantly, maybe in terms of allowing millions and millions of people into our country that we shouldn't have.
Thank you, President Trump. And here's what he was talking about. Listen, Tulsi announcing she'll be releasing even more.
Wants us to find that there are a lot of deep state acts still here within Washington. President Trump wants us to find the truth. I want to find the truth. The American people deserve the truth, and they deserve accountability, which is why I'm really glad to see that Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice announced the creation of a strike force team today, specifically to get after all the intelligence and evidence that we have gathered. We have more coming, and to determine the path forward to bring about that accountability.
We look hearing from you and from the strike force, because this is information everybody deserves to know. Director, thank you so much.
Let's go, baby. Lock them up. Every single one of them. And throw the clucks from The View in there while you're at it, would you? If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this changes everything. 20 federal agents confirming Obama and Brennan fabricated intelligence to take down Trump is not just news. It is the foundation of our republic cracking wide open. Now, these aren't partisan hacks or attention seekers. These are career intelligence officers who've seen enough corruption to risk everything by speaking the truth. When James Clapper lawyers up and admits he's scared, when Tulsi Gabbard uses the word treason, when even establishment Republicans are calling for special prosecutors, you know the dam broken. The deep state thought they could bury this in a CIA vault forever. Well, they were dead freaking wrong. So here's my question for you. Should Obama face the same treatment that Trump got? Raids, indictments, mugshots, perp walks? I think this will be an easy answer for you guys in the comments. I can't wait to read them. It's going to be like Christmas when I open up this video. Yes, drop your answer in the comments. And while you're fired up, check out our next news merch shop, linked below. Show the world you stand with the truth. Because if we don't expose this now, they will do it again. Okay, let's go. We got more news coming up. Don't go anywhere. Holy cow, what a news day we have lined up for you. And it is, every single day is like Christmas right now. We got the latest on the Epstein coming up. And, of course, we also have information. Oh, God, this stuff happened at the Fed today. And then, what they caught on camera, an alien, ice raids, and, of course, Hogan, all coming up next. But first, let's go and see. We have a super chat to acknowledge in the super chat column. Craig, Nebraska, reporting for duty. God Patriots here. Thank you, Craig, reporting for duty. $5 in the jar. Let's find out what our answer was in that trivia question. You guys said A, Tom Clancy. It was actually C, Brad Thor. Okay, the thriller author warned about deep state operations in his 2013 novel, The Hidden Order. Sounds like a good read. All right, let's move to our next trivia question and our readed topic. Which infamous D.C. Madam's Little Black Book mysteriously vanished before her 2008 death? A, Heidi Fleiss. B, Sidney Biddlebarrow. D, Deborah Jane Palfrey. Or D, Xavier Hollander. I'm going to go with C. I think it was C. Yeah, that's where I'm going to go. Let's see what you guys say in the poll, chat, or the comments. Let's get to our next topic here, because the party is just getting warm up. For years, they told us the Epstein client list didn't exist. They said Maxwell would never talk. They swore the powerful names would stay buried forever. Well, guess what just happened? The House Oversight Committee dropped the hammer. Subpoenas are flying, and the biggest names in politics are scrambling for cover. Ghislaine Maxwell has a date with Congress, and suddenly Jay wants to chat after ignoring her for years. And Bill and Hillary Clinton just got served. Former attorneys generals are being hauled in. Senate Democrats just blocked the Epstein files. What are they hiding? Who are they protecting? The August 11th deposition could blow the lid off the biggest blackmail operation in history, so don't look away. Wait till you find out what we've uncovered. Now, the Epstein network, it ran deeper than anyone imagined, blackmailing the world's most powerful people. While they controlled narrative, destroyed lives, Americans lost faith in justice, just like the healthcare system that bleeds us dry. The elite play by different rules. That's why I take control where I can, like with my health. Blood Flow 7 from Juvenon, it helps me stay sharp and energized naturally. It boosts nitric oxide levels and improves circulation without stimulants. Doctor formulated with premium ingredients. It's helped my stamina and my focus. I wouldn't share it if it didn't work. Visit bloodflow7.com/NNN or below to learn more. Now, check this out. Amir was posting this just 8 hours ago. There is a pretty good chance that the reason Trump's name appears in the DOJ files related to Epstein is the fact that he was the original Epstein whistleblower in 2005. Author Michael Wolff revealed that Jeffrey Epstein discovered it was Donald Trump who blew the whistle on him in 2005. As a result, Epstein reportedly lived in fear during Trump's presidency, believing he would be targeted for evading significant accountability for his crimes in 2008. And now this deposition of Jeffrey Epstein has surfaced. Listen to this and listen to Jeffrey Epstein's response.
The presence. Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Have you ever had a person...
So, did you hear what he did? He's exerting his 5th, 14th, and 6th Amendment. Now, I'm like, why? Normally, people plead the 5th because they don't want to incriminate themselves. So, here he is. He's under deposition. He's asked a direct question about President Trump and girls under the age of 18. Now, that doesn't mean that Donald Trump was with those girls. All it does is Epstein's protecting himself against incrimination. That's what it comes down to. The other amendments, right to a fair trial, these types of things, he's really laying a big firewall so he can have a greater defense when the charges drop. So I thought this was an interesting clip because it doesn't say that Donald Trump did anything. It just says that Jeffrey Epstein didn't want to admit if he was ever with girls under the age of 18. That's how I read this. We also have this. Representative Ro Khanna now maneuvering to subpoena 15 hours of footage of Jeffrey Epstein during his series of interviews with Steve Bannon. Now, I've asked about where's the footage? Steve Bannon sat down with Jeffrey Epstein for hours and hours and hours, coaching him on media. And supposedly he was going to make a movie called The Monster, never came out. Now Ro Khanna is trying to get that footage from Bannon. We may see it. Who knows? And, of course, Roger Stone. Roger Stone had this to say. When will Stinky clean about his association with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein and Steve Bannon, a love story. Steve Bannon visited Epstein's Paris. Steve Bannon frequented Epstein's New York mansion. Roger Stone laying in to Steve Bannon. Yeah, he's not a fan of either man. More from Amuse Epstein. Given the fact that neither DOJ or FBI wanted Ghislaine Maxwell talking to them or anyone else, perhaps it's a good idea for Congress and the Trump administration to her now. Why did the DOJ and the FBI refuse to interview Ghislaine Maxwell? Not a single prosecutor, state or federal, ever asked to interview Ghislaine Maxwell. Her lawyer, Leah Safian, confirmed the Justice Department was never interested or willing to interview her client. Maxwell knows the details of every co-conspirator, client, and victim, and yet no one from Justice wanted her to talk. But that appears to be changing. Senate Democrats now have objected to approving a resolution that called for all available Epstein files to be released. Interesting. Just yesterday, it was Nancy Pelosi who was tweeting about, we need to have the Epstein files, days after she called it a distraction. So Senate Democrats objecting now. It was brought to the floor by Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, a Republican. Would you look at that? It's all about political games. They don't care. Every voter needs to see this. I ask for unanimous consent. Check this out.
With AG Bondi, justice to the victims and transparency to the American people. Mr. President, as I said before, we want transparency. But the courts control the grand jury. The judges that oversee the courts control the grand jury. We, in this body, can have resolutions back and forth and suggest that it be done, but truthfully, the judges have to do it. AG Bondi and the President has both already called on the judges to release this information. What my resolution is simply saying is we agree with the President, we agree with AG Bondi on the judges and calling upon the judges to release it. So as if in legislation session and notwithstanding Rule 22, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the consideration of S-Res 335, which is at the desk. Further, I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be agreed to, the preamble be agreed to, and that the motion to reconsider be considered and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Is there objection?
Reserving the right to object, Mr. President.
Senator from Arizona is recognized.
Mr. President, let me explain
justice to the victims and transparency.
And it is objected. Now check this out. Here's Senator Richard Blumenthal. I can't stand this. He says Trump DOJ is interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell to secure a cover-up, a secret meeting, and a secret deal to give her potentially a pardon for providing information favorable to Trump. Well, hey, imagine that. Imagine if Donald Trump did give her a pardon. Pardon Ghislaine, let her sing like a jaybird and expose everybody. Was that something you would be okay with? In exchange, total immunity for everything she did, just so she could expose the ring? It's a big ask.
We have beseeched and written and urged the Department of Justice to come clean with the American people. And instead what's happening is one of the most corrupt misuses of power in the history of the Department of Justice. The Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, is about to go to a federal prison where Maxwell, a convicted felon involved in the Epstein trafficking of children, is going to be interviewed by him. Now, keep in mind that no ordinary person could have their personal henchmen in the Department of Justice go to secure a cover-up as a result of that kind of secret meeting and deal giving her potentially a pardon for providing information favorable to Trump.
Sounds like a conspiracy to me. Yeah, looks like we got some new conspiracy theorists. Tara Bull writes, breaking, DOJ is meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell and her attorneys right now. This was 6 hours ago. Ghislaine meeting with the DOJ happening earlier today. And then we have this House Oversight Committee reportedly voted in favor of subpoenaing two major names in U.S. politics, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Yeah, baby. Yes! Lock her up! Lock her up! Join me! Now, subpoenaing doesn't mean they're going to be indicted for anything, but maybe they have some information. What happened on those Lolita Express flights, Bill? Where was Hillary? How was the island, Bill? How were those massages? Yeah, we're going to find out here. 4 hours ago, House Oversight Committee to depose Ghislaine Maxwell in the Tallahassee prison on August 11th. The House Oversight, let me repeat that, House Oversight Committee going to the Tallahassee prison to depose Ghislaine Maxwell on August 11th. Buckle up. D-Day is coming. The Department of Justice has said they would want to meet with Maxwell if she has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims. GOP oversight. I hope some of you will ask questions about the blackmail scheme with Epstein. Here we have this. Amused 14 hours ago. Epstein, if we're going to have more pointless investigations, we ought to make the guilty squirm. House panel directs chairman to subpoena Bill Clinton in the Epstein probe. Buckle up. Here it is. This is the House Oversight Committee officially issuing the subpoena to Ghislaine Maxwell for a deposition. Black and white right there by the authority of the House of Representatives, the Congress of the United States of America, to Ghislaine Maxwell. You are hereby commanded to be and appear before the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. To testify at a deposition touching matters of inquiry committed to said committee or subcommittee, and you are not to depart without leave of said committee or subcommittee. Place of testimony, Federal Correction Institution of Tallahassee, August 11th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Mark your calendars. It is going to be a big day. Signed, James Comer. Let's go. Oh, but my favorite part is the fact that we got Bill and Hillary, House panel directing chairman to subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton in the Epstein case. Bill Clinton flew to Jeffrey Epstein's orgy island with 2 young girls, bombshell Ghislaine Maxwell documents claim. House Oversight Subcommittee voted subpoena Justice Department to release the full files. Baby, let's go. Check this out. Democrats pulling an upset on the Epstein files. Major breaking. Then right here, in a genius move, House Democrats were able to pass a motion in a GOP-controlled House Oversight Subcommittee to subpoena all the Jeffrey Epstein files. They write the Republicans were blindsided because Democrats dropped an 11th-hour motion at an unrelated hearing after noticing that most GOP members on the panel had publicly demanded the release of the files. The GOP chair was caught off guard and scrambled, first delaying the vote to sabotage it by adding amendments to include the Biden administration communications. Democrats called their bluff and agreed. Then the GOP chair, Representative Higgins, lied, claiming the motion failed until Representative Garcia forced a full roll call. Ultimately, the vote passed 8-2 after 3 Republicans defied their leadership and joined 5 Democrats to pass the motion. 3 Republicans defying their leadership to pass the motion. Listen.
Document into the record listing the members of this committee and their individual calls to release the files.
Now, I want to make it clear here because I showed you before that the Senate blocked it, but this is the House side now, so don't be confused, okay?
Document into the record listing the members of this committee and their individual calls to release the Epstein files.
Shauna, without objection. The subcommittee stands in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
Point of order. Are we not going to take the vote?
We're in recess. That was a previous order.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, we need to take the vote from the motion.
We're in recess pursuant to the previous order, which passed without objection. So we're in recess, and we will move to those votes. So this is out of order conversation. I'm just being polite. We had the previous order that we moved without objection. Our votes would be moved until after deliberation. All subject to call of the chair. Hope it's today. We have plans.
Recess.
We have plans.
We have forever recess. Children will not.
So when is the actual? When are we back in session for this subcommittee? After votes?
That subject to the call of the chair, as I stated. So
we're going to do a permanent recess.
The previous order. So. Stand by. And now we will be calling up Ms. Lee's motion as amended. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. No. In the opinion of the, pardon?
The ayes have it.
In the opinion of the chair, the no has it.
Recorded vote, sir.
Recorded vote is called for. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Gosar. Mr. Biggs. Ms. Mace. Aye. Ms. Mace votes aye. Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry votes aye. Ms. Boebert. Mr. Jack.
Aye.
Mr. Jack votes aye. Ms. Lee. Yes. Ms. Lee votes yes. Mr. Bell.
Aye.
Mr. Bell votes aye. Ms. Simon. Aye. Ms. Simon votes aye. Ms. Presley. Ms. Presley votes aye. Mr. Garcia.
Aye.
Mr. Garcia votes aye. Mr. Chairman. No. Mr. Chairman votes no. Mr. Biggs is not recorded. Mr. Biggs votes nay. Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 8, the nays are 2.
The subcommittee stands adjourned.
Wow.
Document into the record.
They just voted to release the files in the subcommittee. You saw it right there. House Democrats able to pass a motion in the GOP-controlled House to subpoena all the Jeffrey Epstein files. This is only the beginning. Gunter Eagleman, 5 hours. House Oversight Committee officially voted to subpoena the following people: Bill and Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, Merrick Garland, Robert Mueller, William Barr, Jeff Sessions, and Alberto Gonzalez. Tick-tock on the Epstein files. Since the Epstein case is solved, can you investigate the 2020 election? I wouldn't say it's solved, but I think we certainly do need to look at 20 again. Here's Scott Jennings. Unverified hearsay is what Trump is up against now. Wall Street Journal reporting those words. Outrageous attempt to create a narrative where no credible evidence exists on Epstein. Same thing happened on Russia. Dems creating alternate false reality.
Just own up to it. Doesn't he just do that?
Own up to what? Calls unverified hearsay. No. Why should he go out there and have to own up to anything? He's not ever been credibly accused. The Washington Post ran a fact check on this the other day and said, we're confident there's nothing about the president. If there were, we would know about it. Unverified hearsay is what he's dealing with, and you want him to go out and fight this ghost? It's ridiculous. Democrats are alleging that he is somehow part of Epstein's wrongdoing. It's happening all day long. This is the whole point of this fiasco, is to try to create a narrative and what he calls correctly a hoax that he is somehow part of it. It's exactly what they did about Russia, and they're doing it on Epstein.
If he on the younger side, girls on the younger side.
And that comment and what you just said are two different things. So if you're alleging criminality, go ahead. Say it directly. Say it so we can all hear it.
I am asking you a question that you are pivoting on. The question I am asking you is, if Donald Trump knew that Epstein was having sex and preying on underage girls, is that wrongdoing?
Well, I think if anyone would have known that, but I don't know that he knew that because
I don't know that either.
He disowned it. But you're raising it. If I knew that you ran over someone out on the street, would that be criminal wrongdoing? You're raising it because you don't know if it's true, but you're saying it out loud because you're trying to create.
I'm saying it out loud because I think that's what a lot of people are wondering, because he does. The man does protest.
This is what we say when Anna's wondering.
All right, let me. Democrats have been trying to take down Trump with documents that they never used. Trump.
I'm sorry, they crippled almost his entire first term by convincing one half of the country that Russia stole the 2016 election. And Democrats have it tonight. Fox News did a poll.
Speaking of accurate sources.
Are you calling into question the Fox News polling? Because it's generally considered to be very good. So here's the deal. They have his job approval. He's a little underwater. Of all the people who said they approve or disapprove of Donald Trump, only 1% mentioned Epstein as the reason. 1% was either Democrats or independents. This fantasy that Republicans or MAGA, Nobody in the Republican Party is worried about this, and most of America is not worried about it.
So if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, the Epstein cover-up is finally unraveling, and the panic in D.C. is real. When Senate Democrats block releasing files, when the DOJ suddenly wants to talk to Maxwell after years of silence, when Bill and Hillary get subpoenaed, terrified. This isn't just about, it's not about justice anymore, it's about survival. The same people who called us conspiracy theorists for asking questions, they're now firing up and cutting deals. August 11th isn't just another date. It's when Ghislaine Maxwell sits before Congress with names, dates, and receipts. Every politician, celebrity, and billionaire who visited that island is now sweating bullets. So here's my question. Do you believe Maxwell will live to testify August 11th? Yes or no? Sound off below. And while the elite panic, you can gear up with Next News merch from our merch shop. Link down in the description. Show them we're done with their secrets and their lies, and help us expose President Otto Penn and support Alligator Alcatraz. Pick your favorite member of the administration with our American Badass series at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. All right, don't go anywhere. We are not done yet. I saw you. You were thinking about it. Okay, story's over. I'm going to move on. No. You will not go anywhere because we are just getting started. Okay, let's find out here. And I need to figure this out. So real quick, let's see. We got a super chat here. Patriot Town dropping $5 over there on the Rumble side. Awesome. Thank you so much for your support. And please, perp walks, yes. And Inhuman Condition dropping 10. Sidney Powell was right. Tulsi should go back and look at her evidence again. Okay, so Brian, shoot me a private message, text message real quick with all the information about your flight. And let's see. Okay. All right. Our Boyd says, arrests begin now. Meow. Right? Meow. Okay, where are we? I had a stack of... Dude, did my kids take it? No. They didn't take it. Okay, let's find out the answer. Gary, you kill me, says Dan. Okay, Inhuman Condition dropping 10. And Patriot Town dropping 5. And then we've got our Boyd dropping 10. And then Dan Thompson dropping 5. Thank you guys. Awesome. Got our fake Federal Reserve notes here for the world to see. Don't go anywhere. Where are you going? Where are you going? We're not done. The answer to our trivia question was not Heidi Fleiss, guys. It wasn't Heidi Fleiss. It was Deborah Jean Palfrey. That's what I guessed. Deborah Jean Palfrey, the D.C. madam, whose client list included senators and officials, mysteriously died before trial. Okay, let's move on to our next. We have the next story. You don't want to miss this. What happened at the Federal Reserve today? Yeah. I know the Federal Reserve isn't fun. It's like Epstein or, like Obamagate and stuff like that. But come on. All right. The Fed is screwing us left and right. And President Trump just confronted them. And which Fed chairman literally hid gold bars in his basement during the Depression? A. Eugene Meyer. B. Mariner Eccles. C. Roy Young. Or Daniel Kissinger. Hell if I know. I don't know. I should flip a 4-sided coin. I don't know. I'm going to say C. I'm going to go Roy Young. Just a guess. I don't know what you guys are going to say, but we'll find out after the segment. All right. Let's find out what's going on at the Federal Reserve, baby. And the Fed all day long. Trump at the Fed. Okay. Picture the President of the United States walks into the Federal Reserve like a foreman checking a job site, But this is not just any inspection, it's a full-scale confrontation over $3 billion in taxpayer money. Jerome Powell tried to block White House staff from visiting. It was a bad move. So Trump showed up personally, brought the cameras, and started asking the hard questions that nobody else would dare to ask. And what he discovered inside those marble halls will infuriate every American who's ever been a checkbook. The Fed's little palace renovation just became a massive scandal, and Powell's sitting in the hot seat with nowhere to hide. You will not believe what Trump said right to his face. Keep watching. Now, you probably think your 401k is safe, but it wasn't designed to make you wealthy. It was built to shift retirement costs and risk onto you, leaving your savings exposed to crashes, inflation, and chaos. But Americans are waking up and taking control of real assets like gold. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands secure their future by converting 401k into a tax-advantaged gold IRA without penalties or headaches. It's safe, it's simple, and it's smart. Visit nextnewsgold.com to get your free wealth protection kit and discover how to safeguard your savings. Open a qualified account today and receive two 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful coins free. That's nextnewsgold.com, your exit from the danger zone, or that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. And when you call, when you talk to Colin or you talk to the guys over there, tell them Gary Franchi said hello. So here it is. Trump checking out the construction at the Fed.
You're back under Well, thank you very much, everybody, and it feels very good, actually, to be back on a construction site.
President Trump back on construction site. Now, this clip here has just gone totally viral. It is an amazing watch indeed. Now, I'm going to play it in full. And what's especially beautiful is what President Trump says right at the very end of this clip to Jerome Powell. Oh, my God. Oh, this is great. This is a beautiful thing. Watch.
I think we hear the president. Let's tune in.
With the chairman, as you know. Come on over. And we're just taking a look at what's happening. And it's a tough construction job. They're building basements where it didn't exist or expanding them, and a lot of very expensive work. There's no question about it. And Tim has been with me for a long time, and you're in charge of the committee.
Indeed. One of the reasons why we wanted to see it was the overruns of the expenses. We wanted to figure out why.
Yeah. So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 0.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1,
3.2. This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
Are you including the Martin renovation?
It's our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's not new.
So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use, but no, we don't.
He says we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use. This is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. These guys print money, okay? They print it. We've got a little bit of a reserve. When he said that, I was like, yeah, dude, come on. Oh, it just makes me sick. Okay, we shall continue.
Expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
Mr. President, does the issue... As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire him.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President, gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. but it did start, and it's been under construction for a long time.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
It's going to be a real long time because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So,
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. Other than that, what can I tell you? The country's doing really well. I just briefed the chairman on the deal we made with Japan. Japan is putting up.
So that was personally my favorite part. Love him to lower interest rates, and he just boom hits him on the back.
Project manager.
With the chairman, he's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. But it did start. And it's been under construction for a long time. It's going to be a real long time because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So,
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. Other than that, what can I tell you? The country's doing really well. I just briefed the chairman on the deal we made with Japan.
God bless President Trump. Here it is. Everyone talking about it. Look at everyone jumping into the Fed today to check out Powell's $3.1 billion construction project. Here's what Trump posted on Truth Social. Getting ready to head over to the Fed to look at the $3.1 billion plus construction project. Also, President will be Fed Chair Jerome Powell, Senator Tim Scott, Senator Tom Tillis, OMB Director Russ Vought, Chairman of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Bill Plute, my appointees to the National Capital Planning Commission, James Blair and Will Scharf, and various other construction professionals. Damn! Talk about auditing. President Trump visiting the Fed to check on Jerome Powell's renovations to the building. Powell attempted to block the White House staff from visiting, so Trump decided to personally show up. Yeah, you can't stop President Trump. Eric Trump posting this 4 hours ago. I'll finish the Federal Reserve renovation. There wouldn't be a penny of waste. $900 million over budget is a disgrace. Here's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent talking about it. President Trump changing the narrative. Listen.
So President Trump has changed the narrative here that his theory of the case, and he's absolutely right, is that the entire world wants to trade with the United States of America, that the U.S. consumer, the U.S. producers are the deepest and richest, most important market. So everyone is willing to pay a toll. Two, that these negotiations, as you said, the other countries have been willing to all their trade barriers. Indonesia came with a series of very good offers, and I looked at what they were giving up. I think we struck out 11,000 lines of tariffs from Indonesia. And as President Trump says, I don't blame the Indonesians. It was the past administrations that let them get away with it. And then three, we are seeing now President Trump has convinced the Senate, perhaps our allies, that secondary tariffs are a way to enforce foreign policy. So there's talk now of secondary tariffs on any country that buys Russian oil. So the Senate's willing to go along with that. Let's see if our European allies are also. President Trump has
President Trump flipping the narrative. Here's what Treasury Secretary Bessent said about the Fed. I don't understand what's going on over there, he says.
A good idea. I don't really understand what's going on with the size, the scope, the cost of the building renovations. One can ask, was it a good idea to start the renovations for an enterprise that's losing $100 billion a year? So $100 billion because of a mismatch in the bond portfolio from the short-term rates. And I think that the Fed should undertake an internal review because I think all the other operations are endangering its independence of monetary policy. As I've said, monetary policy should be kept independent. It's a jewel box, should be walled off. But by undertaking all these other activities, then you come in for criticism, just like you're seeing here, that might impinge on monetary independence. I don't really understand.
Here we have more. Fed Chair Jerome Powell and the exorbitant cost overrun. We just saw that clip. A reporter asked, what would you do to a manager? Oh, check this out. What? I'd fire him? As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager? Generally speaking, I'd fire him.
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire him.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President, gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just...
Here's the moment he arrived, like a boss. Yeah. President Trump showing up. I was like, yeah, look at all the pretty walls and stuff. Yeah, we need all this stuff here. We keep printing money. President Trump showing up like a boss. President Trump touring the Federal Reserve building with Jerome. That building is nothing but a tomb, destroying our currency every single day. And now they're... So this whole thing here, this is all cause for Powell to be fired. I'm not sure why President Trump hasn't fired him yet. Like, what is the holdup here? Okay? We got to get rates lowered. We got to turn on the housing market. Let's go. Who wants to wait 8 months? So President Trump ambushing Chairman Powell today. Beautiful sight to see. And if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, this is what accountability looks like, America. While you struggle with grocery bills and gas prices, Jerome Powell just blew $3.1 billion renovating his palace. But don't worry, he can just print the money, right? But it's your money. $900 million over budget, while the Fed loses $100 billion a year. Now, Trump didn't send a letter or schedule a meeting. He showed up, called out the waste to Powell's face, and said what everyone's thinking: I'd fire him. This is why the establishment hates Trump. He exposes their gravy train. Eric Trump offered to finish the job without wasting a penny. That's the difference between builders and bureaucrats. Powell thought he could hide behind closed doors and secret budget. Wrong. The master negotiators walked into his house and demanded an answer. So here's my question. Should Powell be fired immediately? Yeah or no? Let me know in the comments below, and grab your next news gear from the merch shop. The link is in the description. Real patriots demand real accountability and quality gear. Shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, linked down below. I think we need a Fire Powell shirt. That's what we need. Okay, no super chats to speak of. We cleared those out in the last segment. All y'all want to see, yes, 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 hell yes, absolutely yes, 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 fire Powell, fire Powell. We're not done yet, guys. Just because we finished this segment doesn't mean you can leave, all right? I see you guys. I see some of y'all, the story's over, we're going to go. I got to go pick my nose now. No, it ain't going to happen. You're going to stick around because we got more. Oh, wow. Okay. Whoa, what's up? Irving is back. $20. Thank you, Irving. Irving must be trying to save money. He normally gives us $50. Thank you, Irving, for the $20. Fire Powell. Inflation must be Irving over there. Nice. Okay, let's get to our answer. You guys said it was Roy Young. It was actually Eugene Meyer. The Fed chairman from 1930 to 1933 allegedly hoarded gold during the banking crisis. Yeah, they're all crooks over there. Okay, we're going to look at the urban blitz of President Trump and some mysterious footage that has just surfaced that is going to blow your mind. Okay, but first, which 1990s mayor garbage collectors to report illegal immigrants? A. Rudy Giuliani, B. Richard Daley, C. Willie Brown, or D. Ed Rendell? I never heard of Richard Daley doing that. Willie Brown? No. Ed? No. I'm going to go with Rudy. Yeah. My money's on Rudy. in the poll, comments, or chat, and we'll get that answer after the segment. Let's move on to our urban war. Trump's $7,000 daily ICE raids and this mysterious footage that just surfaced. I think it's going to raise a lot of questions. American cities have become war zones. Vagrants camping on sidewalks, illegals flooding sanctuary cities, and Democrat mayors protecting criminals instead of citizens. Today, all of that changed. President Trump just signed an executive order that's sending shockwaves through every blue city in America. Federal agents and deportations are skyrocketing, and the cleanup has begun. Tom Homan's not playing games. 7,000 arrests per day is the target. From Denver to New York, the roundups are happening right now. Sanctuary city politicians are screaming. The DOJ is suing, and liberals are melting down. But here's what they don't want you to know about who's really behind the urban chaos, and the truth will shock you. Don't go anywhere, because who you are about to see is going to send shockwaves through America. Now, American cities are collapsing under failed policies, while men across the country feel their strength slipping away. But what if both problems share a common cause? Most guys blame age or genetics for low energy, but the real culprit is something that you are eating daily, something marketed as healthy. This one food scientifically devastates testosterone, draining the very strength that we need to rebuild our communities. It's not junk food or sugar. It's far more deceptive. Eating it just a few times weekly wrecks your testosterone, saps your energy, and kills your drive. The men cleaning up our streets need every single advantage, and Sculpt Nation discovered that guys who eliminated this one food are reclaiming their vitality. So visit sculptnation.com/NNN. It's linked down below to discover what is really stealing your strength. Take back your power. Your city needs strong men now more than ever. Okay, so we got some breaking footage here. Video from a doorbell camera has prompted speculation that an alien was spotted in front of a Compton home. I think we need to get Tom Homan here or the men in black. I'm not sure. This is the footage that's going viral right now.
Right. Have aliens landed in Compton? That depends on who you ask. We want you to take a look at this video. We have it looped several times. It's gaining a lot of traction online, especially from paranormal bloggers and YouTubers. In an interview with the Daily Mail, the woman who captured the video, Ortiz, says her doorbell camera picked up something moving through her yard on June 5th around 1 a.m. But the censored cameras on the outside of her home didn't pick up anything. Speculation of what it ranges from people carrying plastic bags to children, and some who say it's really an alien. I think someone's messing with her.
Yeah. It looks like some kind of stunt.
It looks like a costume you buy when you're pretending to be an alien, right?
I would never guess alien.
But it could be an alien. Let's not rule it out
You're
yet.
right.
Come on. Let's do an investigation.
It looks terrifying. I don't want to encounter it. Have aliens landed in Compton?
Here, look, I'm going to say, here's what I think it is. It looks like it is a person carrying a bag, and their head is above that white area. It's not like a somebody hunched over with a, weird shaped head. I think it's actually somebody walking, and they're just carrying a bag or something, a blanket, or maybe they're carrying their coat in front of them. It's drooped over their arms, and you see their legs, and it's their coat and their pants is only you can see because they're wearing a dark colored shirt. That's what I am saying here. But maybe Tom Homan will deport this person anyway. And then we have this. Chuck E. Cheese has now been arrested in multiple felonies. Yeah, the kids were not pleased when they went in to go get some pizza and some video games, but instead, Chuck E. Cheese getting arrested in Florida. Of course, it happens in Florida. It always happens in Florida. Florida man, yet again. What a shame, though. Chuck E. has hit rock bottom. Chuck E. Cheese arrested in Florida on credit card fraud and identity theft. Yeah, that's where we're at right now, folks. Crazy. I mean, why didn't the mask there? Bizarre. Okay, so moving on to the real news. President Trump signing an executive order to force cities to remove vagrant individuals from our streets and restoring order to American cities. That's according to a White House official. Our streets need to be cleaned up. Trump is ordering his cabinet officials to prioritize funding to cities and states which enforce prohibitions on urban camping and illicit drug use. New York City, we have this. An invader from West Africa is physically carried out of an immigration court after he received his due process with his asylum denial, papers in hand. He will be removed, expedited within hours, in some cases sent far, far away. Check this out.
Out the way, bro. Out the way. Out the way. You're gonna get knocked down. Move. Amigo, não tem problema, amigo, eu não tenho problema, amigo. Hold on, P, man. Sorry.
Hey, man, should have been here legally. Okay, let's keep going here. Kurt Schlichter says, I blame illegal aliens for not living in a more diverse range of locations. Why do you support racist illegal aliens? Christopher Webb, Shirilla, heat map tracking immigration rates across LA, and the data is telling. They write here that since June, 471 confirmed operations focused predominantly on specific neighborhoods, people of color, and Latinos. Proof that ICE isn't targeting individuals or profiling communities to meet quota. 9 times out of 10, witnesses couldn't even tell which agency was involved. Plainclothes agents, unmarked vans, no. Oh, really? Well, I mean, if you have a specific demographic that is predominantly coming from a specific part of the world, and they happen to settle in a part of the United States that shares the demographic, then you specifically target that demographic. It's not racism, okay? It's common sense. But, of course, this is how they shaped the narrative to make it seem like ICE is performing racist raids. Okay? I mean, it just so happens that's where they're all coming from, and that's where they're going, so they're focusing on that specific demographic. Give me a break. Oh, boy.
You can see the activity looks pretty widespread. Chirla says it shows how immigration enforcement actions since June have focused predominantly on specific neighborhoods, people of color, and Latinos. For 41 confirmed enforcement operations from day one back on June 6th through this past Sunday. Now, the highest concentration occurring in the San Fernando Valley. They say what the map reveals accounts for blatant racial profiling and proves that those roving patrols have occurred, but they also admit that conditions have improved.
Well, we have right now a judge's order that says the government must stop doing what they're doing and they must follow. This map reminds the government that Los Angeles is watching. They can do a job if they want to, but they have to do it under the law. As simple as that.
That being said, since the judge's order, Chirla says that they have received reports of enforcement operations occurring, but not to the level that we witnessed before. They say that shows the order is being followed as ICE and DHS figure out their next steps in response to the judge's order.
Okay, let's keep going. More poor Chuck E. Cheese. Here's Tom Homan confirming.
I'll rest when every public safety threat, illegal aliens, any public safety threats and national security threats as possible. I'll rest when every public safety threat, illegal aliens are removed from this country.
How many?
And for those who question the 3,000 a day, saying it's an unreasonable number, do the math. We'd have to rest 7,000 a day, every day for the remainder of this administration, just to remove those who by administration the country illegally.
Tom, the Vice President is attacking Microsoft for firing Americans while still applying for H-1.
visas. What's your message to companies that are doing just that?
Look, it's illegal to hire illegal aliens. As far as that would be a question for Joe Edlow over CIS. They handle the visas. And again, I'm the borders guy. I'm an enforcement guy. I'm in the export program, not the import program.
Is there any concerns on the docket, sir?
Jay?
Is Kilmore Abrego Garcia a public safety threat?
Yes.
Can you give us the deportation numbers?
Last time I looked, over 6,000 going through the CBP home app. But according to numerous studies, there's over 1 million self-deportations since President Trump took office, which is a great thing.
Is there any concern?
The lowest murder rate in history. How much do you contribute to the lockdown of the border to lower the overall murder rate?
A lot. We looked at numbers this morning, and ICE has over 150,000 arrests in the interior, most of them criminals. Every criminal ICE arrest makes the community much safer. That's what we're committed to. President Trump wants a better, safer America, and that's exactly what the men and women at ICE are doing every day. And let me say this about the ICE. I want you all to remember, ICE agents are mothers and fathers too. They don't hang their heart on the hook every day to come to work. I'm sick and tired of the attacks on ICE. President Trump's sick and tired of it. You impede an ICE officer, you're going to jail. You throw a stone, you're going to jail. If you interfere with the enforcement, you're going to jail. We're done. We're done playing. We're going to enforce the law. We're going to make America safer, and we're going to do it with no apologies.
You mentioned the Iranians.
No apologies, baby. None. Democrats are trying to bring in illegals to replace American workers and put more citizens on the government dole, moving towards socialist communist society where the government controls where you live and how you live, the haves government and the haves not society. Senator Hawley slamming fellow Republicans for putting illegal aliens before Americans. What?
Coming from watch this. He needs a reliable working. Other Americans don't participate.
Your reaction to the woman who seems very angry right there, but her view is basically Americans. It's a really a negative view on Americans. And coming from a family that did a lot of blue collar work, I'm so offended by that Americans don't do this. Maybe you drove down wages and Americans always did that type of work until it couldn't actually support a family.
You're exactly right. It is a myth that Americans don't want to work. I mean, when these corporations won't pay Americans a decent wage, that's the problem. We see Americans out there willing to work. Under Donald Trump, wages are going up. But Laura, I'm with you 100%. The Republican Party's got to shake off its losing ways. And one of the things that's made them losers before Donald Trump is they kept saying that we needed to have more immigration that would displace American workers. No, we don't. We need to give American workers a fair deal. We need to give them a fair shake, let them get back to work. Trump ran on that in 16, in 20, and 24. He was victorious. Republicans need to listen. No more of this establishment, comprehensive immigration, bring in a flood of immigrants. No, exactly. He has. He's fixed it.
Trump's done it. Enforced the border, shows that it works, deporting criminals, getting them out of this country as fast as he can. And I hope the numbers improve. But any move toward that nonsense will be fought tooth and nail by not just MAGA, but by millions of people across the country who are sick of those. And frankly, it's a very negative view on the American workforce. I completely.
Let's keep going. Here is what Tom Homan said on Fox. NYPD wants to help us. Officers on the ground want to help.
You know, bottom line is we are prioritizing criminal threats and public safety threats and national security threats. We had an agreement to get into Rikers Island, and Mayor Adams, signed an executive order to get into Rikers Island. Of course, the governor came down, totally against it. City council soon us out of there. We're on our way to some collaboration on criminals in Rikers Island, but that was shut down. But they keep pushing this issue. They're helping us. No, they're not. New York City. Matter of fact, the two men who were involved with shooting the off-duty CBP officer, they both are released from NYPD precincts many times, several times. So, and look. NYPD wants to help us. The officers on the ground want to help us, but it's a sanctuary city that was created by Bill Blasio and supported by the city council that has shut us out. Letitia James is wrong. New York is not helping us with criminals.
Let's check in with J.D. Vance. What's he talking about right now? We're not going to do amnesty in this country.
Going to tell people what the president has said is, number one, we're not going to do amnesty in this country. We're actually not going to tell people who have come into the country legally that they're allowed to break our laws and be rewarded for it. We're just not going to do that. But there are a whole host of other ways when we agricultural industries and others where they say, well, we really need labor. Well, there are a whole host of ways in which you can try to solve those problems. My favorite solution for those problems is automation, right? I actually think there's a lot of evidence that the American agricultural economy is a little behind the eight ball when it comes to using technology. There are ways where we're talking about facilitating automation. So we're not going to have amnesty, but we also recognize that there are a lot of industries out there we want to thrive. And I think the president is trying to strike the right balance. What the president has said is number.
So if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. This is what America voted for. Law and order restored, streets cleaned up, and criminals sent packing. 7,000 deportations daily isn't excessive. It's catching up after 4 years of Biden's open borders. While sanctuary city politicians cry about rights, American citizens are finally getting theirs back. The DNI in New York City proves how desperate the establishment is to protect their illegal voting base. Tom Homan and I taking down NYPD officers want to help, but Democrat politicians won't let them. That's not leadership. That's treason against your own citizens. From Denver's 243 arrests to Manhattan's immigration court meltdowns, the message is clear. The free ride is over. So here's the question. Should federal funding be cut to all sanctuary cities immediately? Drop a yes or a no in the comments below. While America takes back her, show your patriot pride with Next News merch. Link in the description. If you want to support Alligator Alcatraz, that new all-inclusive resort for illegals with its beautiful moat with natural wildlife protecting it, you can get an Alligator Alcatraz t-shirt, or you can support our exposure of President Otto Pen with a really funny design. Or if you want to just pick a member of the administration, Tulsi Gabbard's real hot right now. We got our American Badass series. So trigger a liberal today. Link in the description. shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Say it with me. shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Well, hell, I was totally wrong. Deer Slayer dropping $5 saying Powell needs to go. And that was from Rumble. What's up, Rumble? Good to see you here. And Irving Sengoendi, Irving, $20 also said fire Powell. $5 there. I think we already put the 20 in there, so we're going to go to the 5 from Rumble. And then, so man, I'm shocked actually at this answer because I got it wrong. You guys said Rudy Giuliani. That's what I said. Is anyone else having issues with jerky play? Yeah, guys, something's going on. Weird interference. We're working through it. Please forgive us or bear with us as we try to fix these problems. Okay. Yeah, it was actually Richard Daley, Chicago's mayor in the 90s, controversially used city workers as immigration informants. Well, hell, that's a new one. Richard Daley. The current Chicago mayor wouldn't do anything like that. All right. Which Bible verse did Hulk Hogan have tattooed after his 2023 baptism? A, John 3:16, B, Philippians 4:13, C, Romans 8:28, or D, Psalm 23:4. Oh, I don't know. I mean, the most common one would be John 3:16, so I'm going to go with John 3:16. And no, Brian, not Austin 3:16. That was blasphemy. Okay. Breaking news that's hitting Americans right in the heart. We've lost an icon, a patriot, and a brother in Christ. Hulk Hogan, the man who defined American strength for generations, has died at 71. But this is not just another celebrity death story. What happened in Hogan's final months will restore your faith in redemption. From the wrestling ring to the political stage, from Hollywood to the house of God, the Hulkster's last chapter was his greatest victory. The mainstream media would have you focus on scandals and controversies, but we're going to tell you about the baptism, the transformation, and the peace that he found before the end. And what you're about to hear will change how you remember him forever. So stay tuned. Now, the American healthcare system failed another legend today. While insurance companies profited, Big Pharma pushes pills. We lost Hulk Hogan to cardiac arrest. That's why I take control of my health naturally. One overlooked factor that matters as we age, blood flow. Better circulation means more oxygen to your brain, heart, and muscles. I use Blood Flow 7 from Juvenon. It boosts nitric oxide levels naturally and opens arteries up to 62%. One daily dose has improved my stamina, energy, and stimulants. Doctor formulated with ingredients, premium ingredients. Now, I wouldn't share it if it didn't work. Visit bloodflow7.com/NNN to learn more. Now, we are I was blown away today. My phone started blowing up. I found out the Hulkster passed. I immediately pulled over and posted this. Absolutely heartbreaking to hear of Hulk Hogan's passing. I'll never forget meeting him with Angie on the Trump campaign trail at Mar-a-Lago. Just a brief moment, but that moment meant everything. And watching him take the stage at the MAGA Madison Square Garden rally was absolutely electric. A legend, gone too soon. Rest in peace, brother. Here is the moment that I met the Hulkster at Mar-a-Lago. I'll never forget that. Amazing moments. And then some pictures I took when we went to Madison Square Garden. You guys were there, supported our trip there. An amazing moment. And here's when he came out.
Gentlemen, please welcome to the stage professional wrestler Hulk Hogan.
Never forget that moment. Never, ever forget. And here we have adding Hogan to the list. 3 generational icons lost in such a short amount of time. Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne, and Malcolm Jamal Warner. Here's some photos of President Trump with Hulk Hogan over the years. Look at this, man. They've been friends for a very, very long time. Gone way too soon. And totally unexpected. Ric Flair says, I'm absolutely shocked to hear about the passing of my close friend Hulk Hogan. By my side since we started in the wrestling business. Incredible athlete, talent, friend, and father. Our friendship, the world to me. He's always been there for me, even when I didn't ask for him to be. He was one of the first to visit me when I was in the hospital with a 2% chance of living. He prayed by my bedside. Hulk also lent me money when Reed was sick. Hulkster, no one will ever compare to you. Rest in peace, my friend. Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. Hogan's family issuing a statement on the passing of the wrestling legend saying they take solace in the wonderful memories he left behind for the millions of fans worldwide whose lives he touched. Here's their official statement. Charlie Kirk posting, Hogan left us with many memories, but his greatest legacy is that 18 months ago, he and his wife were baptized and gave their lives to Jesus Christ. Here's a beautiful moment. baptized. In the name of Jesus. Wow. Our White House correspondent Tom McCullough breaking the news on our X account. Dying at the age of 71, TMZ reported Thursday. Died at his Florida home from cardiac arrest. Now we're learning that he actually did go to the hospital. That's where he did end up passing. Donald Trump Jr. posting RIP to a legend, Hulk Hogan. Got some interesting behind-the-scenes footage here I want to share with you that was just published. I'm going to show this to you in a moment. Very interesting, the mind of Hulk Hogan. When you consider the theatrics and the love he has for his fans, and of course Donald Trump in his final act. I mean, his final act was to come out and support our president and see him over the fence. I mean, I was there at Mar-a-Lago when Hogan showed up, and it was freaking unbelievable. And then when he spoke on the stage at the Republican National Convention. I mean, who will ever forget this moment?
What happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? Enough was enough, and I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again. What happened last week?
I mean,
when they took
that moment will forever live in my mind. I know it, and know it will yours. When I saw him come out on that stage, it was the most beautiful thing to witness. And I'm going to show you the behind-the-scenes moment of this, of him planning it, explaining what he was going to do. It's very, very interesting to look into the mind of Hulk Hogan and his love for his fans and the President of the United States. I'm going to play that for you, but first I want you to hear this.
Well, when things were tough, when things were tough, I realized that this too shall pass. It was just a temporary situation. I realized that, as long as I made the right choice, and followed my faith more than what people were saying, or what the newspapers or the tabloids were saying, and didn't get sucked into that. None of that stuff was real. The only thing that is really real is the stuff that's going to last forever. Your faith and your belief in God, and knowing that, once you're a Christian, you've accepted Christ as your Savior. You're not going to perish, but lasting life. That belief in itself and that faith is what's pretty much the only thing that's real to me. Everything else is kind of like a life situation, but that's my life after life after life. Well, when things were tough,
Beautiful moment there. Hulk Hogan confessing. Once you're a Christian, you've accepted Christ as your Savior. You're not going to perish, but you're going to have everlasting life. That belief is pretty much the only thing that is real to me. Hulk Hogan. Let's take a look at the behind the scenes of his RNC speech. I wonder, do we have the other footage, the actual footage of his baptism here? No, but here, check this funny. This is kind of funny. This is Tom Homan at the Sticks today at the White House being asked about Hulk Hogan.
Dog 200.
The president passed away today. Hulk Hogan, dead at 71. Do you have a favorite Hulk Hogan memory?
I love Hulk Hogan. I had an Italian Mastiff dog, 200 pounds. His name, Hulk Homan.
Hulk Homan was the name of his dog. Okay, so this is solid gold. This is going viral again. I mean, this just shows how much Hogan loves his fans, even the littlest ones.
the first time I met you. Well, let me tell you.
No, let me tell you something, brother. When you walk in this beat shop, I'm surprised that you still got the shirt on, Jack.
Well, let me tell you something. Oh, sure, the first time I met you, I was only 3 years old, but now I'm 6 years old. So now we gotta take it to a bigger level, man. Just like when you press that no good stinking giant over your head and slam them right through the table in front of 90,000 Hulkamaniacs. So what are they gonna do when the power of the Hulkster and the Roaster and the dual 24-inch pythons run wild on you? I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. Well, let me tell you.
No, let me tell you.
Absolutely beautiful. Here's the moment he was baptized.
Lead me where my trust is without borders.
He was baptized at 70 years old. Baptized at 70 years old. Okay, let's go to that behind the scenes footage now that we have. Here, let's play this. This is Tyrus reflecting.
A part of no, you can't. When they talk about Hulk Hogan, who he was in the ring, his presence, the 26-inch pythons, what you're gonna do, brother? Hulkamania will run wild forever. Those things will always last. There will always be a part of the culture that is not just wrestling. That is America. He was about as American as it gets. His song "I'm Real American" by Derringer. You'll hear it. You'll know exactly what he's talking about. You can't talk about the Rocky movies without talking about. He was a household name. And, ironically, so ended up Donald Trump, also a wrestler. He was at WrestleMania. So those bigger-than-life personalities, you'll always be thankful for. No, you can't. When they talk.
Wow. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up here. But let's go to that behind-the-scenes moment. Andrew Cervantes, we all saw Hulk Hogan's amazing RNC speech. What people don't know is that during rehearsals, he threw out the planned script that was written for him by the speechwriters. Came up with most of the speech on the spot. Watching Hogan cook in real time was an all-time moment. Now you guys get to see this.
What's the word on it? Illegals. Illegals, is that the right word?
What's the right word? Illegal aliens. Illegal aliens.
Maybe I won't say I said, as I watched all of my real Americans, the crime rate soar, instead of just saying that, because they defunded the police and everything. I don't want to go the illegal thing. Crime rate soar. The one thing that put me over the edge, brother, was when I saw our hero, when I saw our gladiator, when I saw our champion put his family, his business, his career, and then finally when his life was on the line, and I saw them try to take him out. My whole world changed when I saw my hero and my gladiator stand up with a face full of blood. It was time for Hulk Hogan to not be silent anymore. And,
oh yeah.
And
I'm fired up already.
I went, and, and I may, when I get up there, I don't know exactly what I'm going to say, because I go crazy when I get up there. But what's going to happen is once I saw his fist reach out with it, I got mad. I'm going to take the jacket off. I will take this shirt, and as I put this shirt off, I've got a Trump shirt underneath it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's go. From this point on, I'm silent no more. I'm a Trumpite, just like the rest of you guys. That's your official name, Trumpites. And by the way, before I get real serious about what's going on here, I've got a cure for Trump derangement syndrome. And that cure is Trumpomania running wild.
Yeah.
And then when I hit that Trumpomania running wild, then I'm going to the cop.
Okay,
Well,
so
as an entertainer, I'm Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
As an entertainer, I'm Hulk Hogan. But now tonight, I'm Terry Bollea, and then I'll go with the prompter.
Oh, this is
okay. And then as I roll the prompter, and I haven't read it, so whatever it says. Can you roll it to the last couple lines?
Yes, sir. Do you have a clear shot? I'm sorry.
That's why you gotta write speeches.
Can you see the monitor?
You gotta write like this.
Agreed.
Yes.
And on this one as well.
Take notes, Cliff.
as long as I stay on my mark, yeah.
All right.
As an entertainer, I try to stay out of politics, but after everything that happened, yada, 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 over our country the past 4 years and everything that's happened last week, I can no longer stay silent. I'm here tonight because I want the world to know that Donald Trump is a real American. And I'm proud to support him as the next president of the United States. I've known Donald Trump for 35 years. He hasn't changed today. What's the word on this? Illegal.
But here's the moment right here. This is it. Now, now he's up there wrestling for Jesus. Oh, man. I can't believe this, dude. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, Hogan wasn't just he was an American in human form. Large, unapologetically patriotic, and unafraid to stand for what he believed in. But his greatest victory came just 18 months ago when he and his wife were baptized, finding peace in Christ. Total surrender to Jesus is the greatest day of my life, he said. No fear, no regrets, just faith. From body slamming Andre the Giant to standing with Trump at Madison Square Garden, Hogan never backed down. His final act was saving this country, like a true American. He taught kids to say their prayers, eat their vitamins, and believe in themselves. In the end, he took his own advice. The establishment mocked him, the media attacked him, but Hulkamania lives forever in the hearts of patriots. So here's the question. Was Hulk Hogan the greatest American icon of his generation? Yes or no? And you can hear legends like Hulk Hogan with some next news here. It's linked in the description. What to do when the truth runs wild on you. Oh. Okay, we don't have any super chats, but we do have a trivia answer. I said it was John 3:16, but it was absolutely it was Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That was Hogan's post-baptism tattoo. All right. What a show tonight, Patriots. We just witnessed history unfolding in real time, and you were here for every explosive moment. We started with the biggest political bombshell of our lifetime, 20 CIA and FBI agents confirming that Barack Obama and John Brennan orchestrated the Russia hoax to overthrow President Trump. This is not a theory anymore. It's testimony. When federal agents risk everything to expose treason at the highest levels, you know the deep state's days are numbered. Clapper is lawyered up, Brennan indictment, and the truth they buried in that CIA vault is finally seeing daylight. Then we dove into the Epstein files explosion. The House Oversight Committee is not playing games. They've subpoenaed Bill and Hillary Clinton, and Ghislaine Maxwell has a date with Destiny on August 11th after years of silence. Suddenly, everyone wants to talk. Senate Democrats blocking the release of all files tells you everything about who's panicking and why. Client list is coming, and the powerful are terrified. And then we took you inside confrontation at the Federal Reserve. We personally grilled Jerome Powell about wasting $3.1 billion of your money on palace renovations, $900 million over budget while Americans struggle to buy groceries. Trump said what we're all thinking. I'd fire him. That's leadership shown up, demanding answers and holding bureaucrats accountable. And then we revealed Trump's executive order to restore order to American cities, 7,000 ICE arrests per day, vagrant removal, and sanctuary cities under siege. From Denver to New York, the cleanup has begun. Democrat mayors protect criminals. Trump is protecting citizens. The streets belong to Americans again, not lawbreakers and illegals. And then we close with a tribute to Hulk Hogan, who left us at 71, but found eternal life 18 months ago through Jesus Christ. From the squared circle to the political arena, Hogan embodied American strength and patriotism. His final message, total surrender to Jesus, is the greatest day of my life. That's how a champion goes out, at peace. and undefeated in what matters most. So to everyone who sent in super chats and Rumble rants tonight, you guys are the heartbeat movement. And AJ Cruz just dropped $2. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Thank you. It's your support and your passion and your refusal to accept lies as truth. That is what makes the Raw feed possible. Every donation, every share, every comment strikes another blow against their narrative control. So don't forget to tell a friend about what you learned tonight. Text them the link, bypass the algorithms, and spread the truth person to person. If you want to know patriotism proudly, hit up shop.nextnewsnetwork.com for gear that shows the world where you stand. This is Gary Franchi reminding you that we're not just reporting news, we're making history. Together, we are the media now. So stay strong, stay free, and we'll see you the next time on the Raw feed.